Ew, what is on here? This is so filthy. My most popular video on here is a video of me talking about why I love America. And it has like 20,000 views. And most of my videos have like 30. So I decided to make a video about the places that I like most in America and the places that are my favourite or that I have the best memories there. So I'm going to start with my absolute favourite place that I've only been to once, and I went there for 3 days and it was honestly the best. So last summer me and Carly went to Portland, Oregon, and just completely just fell in love with it. It's just, I can honestly just see myself living there. It's just one of those places where as soon as you get there you're like, whoa, this is where I need to be. So we stayed in an Airbnb which was absolutely beautiful. It was all really modern and lovely, perfectly clean. And there were swings instead of seats on their like back deck, and they had like a top deck, and it was just really lovely. And the guy who owned it was really nice and helpful, and it was just the perfect place to stay there, and it really captured the atmosphere of the place. I felt like the atmosphere of the city. He just like did it really well. Everything in the house just sort of felt very Portland. And one of the days we went on a walking tour and got to see so much, and it was a walking tour that a man does for free, and I'm going to link it below. If you ever go to Portland or you live there, anything, just do it, because he was just so funny and so nice, and it wasn't your typical tour. Like, you know when you go on like big company tours and they're just spewing the same old rubbish that they do all day, every day. But he, even though he probably, you know, says a lot of the same stuff, he made it as if it was the first time he'd ever done the tour. We found out so much about the city and about the people who live there and how it started. And it was just really interesting and really amazing. We had such a fun time and saw so many things we probably wouldn't have seen if we had just been walking around our own, like the smallest park in the world, and how I was the only British person in the group, and he was saying how British people said it wasn't a park because it didn't have a fence and a bench. So someone like snuck in one night and put a little mini fence and a mini bench in it, and I was like, I love it. And he recommended like places to go, like the food trucks, which food trucks were his favourite, things like that. We went to Voodoo Donuts, obviously. Voodoo Donuts is like a huge thing in Portland. They have 3 stores. We only went to one, but we went there 3 times. We went there twice in one day. And we went in the afternoon, and then we went again at like midnight, because who don't need donuts at midnight? And they have literally the most random, outrageous donuts. There's like a penis donut, there's a spliff donut, there's like standard like Homer Simpson donuts. It's just like the best place, and they have new ones all the time. And the other day I looked on their website and they had this new one that sounded insane, and I texted Carly and was like, is it okay to go back to Portland just for a donut, because honestly I'm down? And she was like, I'm down. I have a feeling we're going to end up back there next year at some point. But the whole atmosphere of the place, like there's this street that we went down, I feel like it may be Hawthorne, but I could be wrong. And there's lots of food places and like high street stores, and it just was such a nice little city and nice little town, like nice vibe. Me and Carly were a little bit lost. No, we weren't. No, we were waiting for an Uber, but we looked a bit lost, and this guy comes over and he's like, hey, can I help you? And he was like really lovely. And everyone there is really friendly, and I know I can say that about most Americans. Like I get that vibe from a lot of Americans when I go there, but everyone was just like so genuinely nice. There's this huge square, like the town square, where they have like movie nights, and they have a big thing at Halloween, and it's some place I just would love to live. I would just love to live there. We ate at some really good places. There's this place called Porcano that my friend Gabby, who lives there, recommended, and she recommended this thing called the Brian's Bowl, which was one of the best meals I swear I've ever had. It's a Mexican place, obviously, and it was a bowl of like rice and guacamole and sour cream and chicken, and like it was just so incredible. And me and Carly literally still talk about that. I'm like, she texts me all the time. She's like, I could really go for a Brian's bowl right now. And I'm like, me too. And then we went to this place called Screen Door, and it has really good chicken and waffles. Spectacular. And our waiter was such a cutie pie. I had these cheese, what are they called? Cheese empanadas. Am I saying that right? Or am I blanking on the name? But they were really good. Very greasy, but really yum. And the boy who was serving me, like he'd been cooking them for a while. And then he was like, hey, London, your food's ready. And I was like, same. And we went to breakfast at this place called Tasty and Sons, which was really yummy. I had some sort of like tomato-y, eggy stew thing, which was yum. Oh, and there's also Blue Star Donuts, which was great. And there was a cutie pie working there who we named... What did we name him? We gave everyone names if we didn't know their name. Andrew, we named him. And he gave us a free donut. And we were just like, thanks, baby. Thinking we were all special. But then the next people that came in, he also gave them one. And we were like, thanks, Andrew. But yeah, it's just somewhere that I just absolutely loved. And just, I was so sad when we left. Like 3 days was just not enough. Like I need to like live there at some point in my life. It was just the best. And there was one place that we didn't get to go because we had so much to do that we just kept missing out on going. And then when we eventually went to go, it was closed. And it's called Pip's Donuts and Chai. And it's literally just donuts and chai. Mine and Carly's actual two favourite things in this world. If we love anything in this world, it's iced chai lattes and donuts. And we got there and we were like, damn it, it's closed. But next time, there's always a next time. And then my second favourite is Venice Beach, California. And, you know, okay, I understand why people don't like it. And I understand that people go there and they're like, this is gross. But to me, it's just like heaven. There's a line in Lords of Dogtown, and Jay Adams says,
So you're from Dogtown? What does that mean?
Oh, it's dirty, filthy, it's paradise.
Like, literally, that sums up Venice Beach for me. Like, it is filthy and it's gross, but it's just like I'm not a skater. I've never skated. I just wear Thrasher because I'm a beg. But skating's something I've always been really interested in. And it's something I've always been fascinated by, and I've always loved skaters and watching skateboarding stuff on TV and whatever. And Lords of Dogtown and Dogtown and Z-Boys are two of my favourite films / documentaries. So going there where it all started for the first time was like, it was so cool. I was just like, this is amazing. There's like this big skate park on the beach where there's always people. And I don't know, I just completely fell in love with it. It's just so... Like, I'm a messy, dirty, gritty person. Like, I never look neat and tidy and proper. I'm just like a mess. And I just feel like I fit in so well there. And me and Luke went, I think I've been twice or 3 times. But when me and Luke went, we got these, we got nice pizza on the beach and fried Oreos, deep fried Oreos, which were a plus. The boardwalk's just full of like, you know, like t-shirt shops with like tie-dye and all that crap, but like obviously every time I go there I buy a t-shirt. I don't know, there's just something about it, and there's so much we wanted to do, but when we went it was really cold the day we went. Actually, I feel like both times I've been it's been really cold there, but we want to go back and like ride bikes and like be proper like little Venice Beach bitches, but you know, there's never enough time to do everything. But it's just something, I just love it. I just feel like I fit in, like, even more than I fit in Portland. I'm like, combine Portland and Venice Beach and that's me in a nutshell. And I don't know why, but the road where the Venice Beach sign is, which just says Venice, I'm just like obsessed with that. Just that section. And then in February, we went to Connecticut, me and my mum, to visit Carly, and there was one day where we didn't really have anything planned, and her mum was like, oh, let's go to Mystic, and I was like, okay, cool. And she was like, oh, that's where Mystic Pizza's filmed or set. Is it filmed there? I'm unsure, but it's set there. And I was like, oh my days, I literally only watched that like 6 months ago. Let's go. So we went to this little town, and it was just like so cute. so cute, and it's like along the Mystic River, and there's like a harbour and all these beautiful shops. And we went to this place, the Mystic Drawbridge ice cream shop, which I don't know what I got, but I remember it being really good. And like they have all these like really fun toppings and like weird concoctions, and it was just really yummy. And we went to Mystic Pizza for lunch, but I wasn't hungry because we'd have a massive breakfast, so I only had one slice of pizza and mozzarella sticks and fried artichoke hearts and onion rings. No, her mum just went all out. But I had a little bit of each, and it was just so yummy, and I was so annoyed that I wasn't hungry. I was like, I want all the food. And then they have like a gift shop in the restaurant as well, so we went there, and Deb bought me like everything: pin badges, t-shirts, postcards. She was like, yeah, get it all. That sums Deb up. But no, it's this really cute town. It had like a nice bookstore and like little clothing stores, a record shop. It was just really small and cute, and just very sort of Gilmore Girls sort of. Anything that's a small town in America, to me, I'm like, oh my days, I'm in a movie. That's why I love America, because everything feels like I'm in a movie. Okay, then New Orleans, Louisiana is somewhere I need to go back when it's not hot. So I was there for 2 days, and one of the days was my birthday, and I was really ill. I was constipated, which, you know, as we all know, is not a surprise for Kezia's life. And it was really, really, really hot, and I just felt disgusting. I ate some really bad lunch on my birthday, and I almost vomited. It was this sort of steak bowl thing from a food court at the mall, and it just tasted like a pile of salt. It was not edible at all. Inedible. But there was another day that we were there that I was fine, and it was great. And we went to this place for dinner called the Gumbo Shop, which if you're ever in New Orleans or you live there, go there and get the jambalaya, because oh my goodness, one of the best meals I've ever had. So yummy. And then obviously we went to Cafe du Monde and got those donut things, which I don't know how to pronounce them, but they were good. Like, you have to just like get everything that's like from New Orleans when you're there. And someone else had gumbo, and I tried their gumbo. The only thing I didn't have when I was there was a po' boy, but I had a po' boy at a New Orleans restaurant here once, which was A+. But yeah, no, it's a really cool town. It's like it's got like a really creepy, like witchcrafty voodoo atmosphere, and we were supposed to go on like one of those graveyard walks, one of those night walks, and we never ended up doing it. And this is what annoys me. I'm like, I always think of, like, I look back on holidays and I'm like, oh my days, we didn't do the one thing you're supposed to do there. And like, we went down Bourbon Street, obviously, and just everything there is really cool, and there's just all weird shops and stuff. And as a tourist, which I fully am, it is fun, and it is being like, and I guess people that live there, they're like, oh, this is so touristy, but to me it's like, this is so fun. And like the buildings and the architecture there is like, I really loved. We stayed in this really old rickety house, because this whole trip we were camping, and this was the only place that we stayed somewhere. And there was like a swimming pool that we went in, an outdoor swimming pool, and made friends with like the locals. And it was just such a nice little place, and I'd love to go back when it's cooler, because it was just so hot when we went. The last place, I put this last because I was like, this is like everyone's favourite place in America. It's not. But like Brooklyn and Manhattan in New York. I've been to New York so many times. I'm going again in 4 weeks. It's just a place that feels like a second home to me. Other than Connecticut, which Connecticut does feel like a home to me, because literally I have a second home there at Carly's house. But New York is just, it's so much like London that it just feels, I don't feel like a tourist there anymore. I feel like I can walk around, and I do know my way around, and I know Manhattan really, really well, as if I live there, which I don't. But I've been there enough that I know it a lot. Every time I go there, it's so big and it's massive, and I look around and I'm like, oh my days, I'm back in New York, and it just always feels so exciting. It always feels new. It always does. It never feels like, oh, I've been there before. There was only one trip I went, and I was like, sort of felt like I was over it, but I've literally been back at least 4 or 5 times since that trip. And I always go with different people, so going with someone new always makes it exciting, and you always do different things. Even if you do the same thing again, it's with different people, so it's still different. There's always something new to find. There's always hidden gems and like new places. I went a couple of months ago and I met up with my friend Hayley, who I'd never met before, and we've been friends on like Tumblr for like 5 years. And she took me around like Lower Manhattan, where like NYU is and stuff, and that was really lovely. I'd never been around that area, and it's very like young people everywhere, like university sort of town, sure. And we went to this place called Donut Project is where we went. Yes. And okay, I only got like a glazed ring donut, and it was amazing. Like, it was actually incredible. And they do really weird flavors like Brussels sprouts or something. Who has time for that? Not me. But that area was really nice, and there's loads of nice shops. I went to like, there's like a van store and like Urban Outfitters and like those sort of shops, and it's not as busy as like where Times Square and stuff is, because that is just too insane for me now. Like, back in the day, Times Square was like, to me, now I'm just like, can I avoid Times Square all like possible what you know what I mean. And then we went to a new place this time. Me and my mum went to Donut Plant, which we'd never been to, and the coconut cream donut was woohoo. The other 2 donuts I got weren't great, but the coconut cream was like out of this world good, and I'm so excited to go back there. And then 5 Napkin Burger is somewhere I always go and get the avocado ranch burger, but I am now a vegetarian, so I feel like I can't go there because I'm gonna want to have it. Then there's 5 Leaves, which is in Brooklyn, which is Heath Ledger's old restaurant, which was very yummy. I've only been there once, but maybe I'll go back with Emily in a couple of weeks. Then there's a place, I'm pretty sure it's called the Commodore, and that is in Brooklyn. And me and my mum, it's literally like a little pub. I got the fish tacos, which were really good, and my mum got some fried chicken and biscuits, and the biscuits with the honey butter was just like this video is just about food. Yummy. Then we went to Serendipity 3 because we watched the movie a couple of days before. My mum's seen it millions of times. It's one of those movies that I've seen a bits of but never watched properly. So we went to the restaurant, and I'm not joking, their chicken sandwich, it was like $14, which is mental, but it was so good. It was on this like sourdough fruity nut bread, and it had all like almonds in it, and the chicken was just, it was so good. And then we have frozen hot chocolates, which everything in this video I'm just like, yeah, it was so good, such great food. But then like when you watch a movie, then you go to places in the movie, it's like, oh my days, life's fun. New York's just like, oh, I love it. And like Coney Island's really fun. And I've only been there once, and we got Nathan's hot dogs with bacon bits, which changed my life. And then we went on that roller coaster, which I can't remember what it's called. There's a really old roller coaster that's like 80 years old, and it doesn't look scary, and it doesn't go upside down. It's just made of wood, and you feel like you're gonna die. So never doing that again. But me and Emily are definitely gonna do a Coney Island day because it's gonna be warm. I went there when it was, I went in the summer. Whatever. It's great. I just love New York. I just love America. It's just my favourite place on the earth, and my bucket list is to go to all 50 states, and I need to do it. I'm on 22 right now. I feel like I can do it.